All right. So in this video, I want to share with you how I read my own trades and how I develop my edge from my own trades. Meaning I had an idea, I traded it, I had a result. Now I need to know how well did I execute that process. So of course, we're all familiar with the MT5, MT4, MT5, whichever platform, right? And we have a whole list of trades here, which we can also export into an Excel format. But this format is useful for data logging, but it's not particularly useful for visualizing where our strengths are or even highlighting where our weaknesses are. There is data here. We have the trade data line by line. We have profit and loss column by column. Trade by trade. But aside from that, we're going to need to do a little bit of data ninjaing to get more out of this. We're going to have to squeeze it out a little bit more. But first, what are we trying to squeeze out? From the raw life data, we have two classes of data we need to apportion out. Green trades and red trades. And these are not wins and losses. Green trades are when I can open this. Oh, okay, here we are. Wins and losses according to my setup. Meaning if it passes the rules of the process and if it qualifies your entry and exits, it is part of that data set. What is not part of that data set? Trades that are not belonging within your processes. So these are over trades. These are no trades. These are not supposed to be there. So how do we classify these two in our data set? Well, simple. First of all, we're going to have to unmerge all of this because these are actually taking 3 columns. So the easy way is go into here and unmerge. Then you have extra lines. So even profit, yes. So what we can do now here is trade outcome. I'll just label that as trade outcome and I'll go line by line. And this is going to take a while, but I'll go line by line and say, look, this one is a no trade. This one is a win. Here. Okay, it's not appearing for some reason, but you get the point. You're going to have to go through line by line and you're going to get something like this. This is what I did earlier. And you can see that I've gone through the whole list and I've classified it as half win, full win, no trade, stop loss hit, and exit loss. So it's just a spectrum of results, but now I can get to classify and I get to dive deeper on what is good, what is bad. And yeah, it's nice to see it like this, but here's the next level. We're going to need to analyze for patterns. Over here, for the no trades, we can eliminate them right away. And one of the ways that we can actually visualize our data is using pivot tables. Something that I did not use before. I used to do this manually. Like how manually? Like I would just filter by date, then filter by type, and I would manually enter it into here. So I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend learning about pivot tables because that would make your life much easier and you get to segment your data more repeatably. So I'm going to do a simple pivot table. It's just going to highlight the whole thing. And what I want to do is I want to go into system outcome here. And then I want to go into time. And then I want to go P&L, profit. No, wait, not profit, is system result. Right? Hold on. No, not that. I'm going to go here. Remove this. System outcome, yes. I want to know the original profit. So what is this now? Okay, let's do a little bit of, we can also make sure that we can see the right formats. So we're doing dollars. Okay, so what is this telling me? This is now telling me month by month what my supposed exit loss is supposed to be, my wins, my half wins, and my stop losses. And now I know a whole bunch of what my no trades are supposed to be. And there's another thing I can add here. We can change this value to count. Now I know how many trades I did take, which are over trades, and how much they cost me. So I can tell right now that out of 420 trades last year, over the last year since September to this September, over 13 months, 420 trades, 167 are not supposed to be there. And of that, 31K are not supposed to be my P&L, meaning I'm supposed to be 31K better. Whether that was going to be directly the result, that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is gains that I can use long term. So now I've spotted trades that I'm not supposed to make, meaning from here on out, I'm supposed to make less of these trades, even down to the point of 0. And then when I add this 31K back into my P&L of 6K, I would have been 40 over K up last year. And this is just one simple thing that I'm doing. There are other things that we can do, and I'll make another video for that. Let me know what you want to learn from this, because I did manually categorize all my win rates per month, and then after that I was playing around with the color scheme of conditional formatting. And in this color scheme, I was learning about bell curves, I was learning about standard deviations, and that got me into sharpening my edge even further. Not just by reading the data, but I got inspired by the whole statistical analysis of aspect of this business. I realized some of my trades, I don't need to write them all the way to the end, because that would end up being on the second or third standard deviation of data, if you know what I mean. Where's the bulk of the data? The data usually lies within one standard deviation. So that got me thinking that actually volume of trades is quite important. I shouldn't be shying away from my trades. I think like there's a lot of deep concepts I want to share, but let this be a very quick overview of reading our trades and how to process data and how to improve with our system that we design ourselves, and how do we extract a little bit more from our edge. And that is it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.